Welcome back to the action here at Tom's Tourney 2024, and it's the women's division in front of us. SYC, don't be good, be sick, from London versus Woof of Bruges, the local hometown hero outfit here on Friday evening, and an overshot is going to give an early doors turnover to the locals. Myself, Hannah Pendlebury, alongside Christina Obermeyer in the booth. And these two teams have had plenty of games so far this tournament. Christina, how have they gotten on as we watch this game get underway?
Indeed, Woof have played the German national team and lost to them. Of course, the German national outfit preparing for a World Championship. And they've had a rather close game against the SYC, but also lost to them. And now they're trying to break to start the tournament, the game here, the last one of the day, but that one just on the ground.
Well, one overthrow each. That one just a little bit too much for the reset round. But it's all about making sure you chase down the discs, because the rain has abated, but the wind is definitely here to stay, trying to blow our tent off the risers here, that keeping us safe from the elements, but that one cannot be blown away by the fingertips of the defense. Great read from Han Booth just to keep that one in contention. Garnier pop back to Booth. Now Hannah John on the far sideline. Oh, low throw into the shins of Garnier. Two of the veteran players for SYC. They have none of their original roster now left playing. At least not at this tournament, but they've expanded their ranks to include more female matching athletes and bring them to the international stage. A little scramble there, I think that's Horsters underneath. But lots of number sevens. That one going to be high, but taken in, and that's the first goal of the game. Emma de Smet with the goal.
And what a nice continuation. That lefty break on into the end zone for Woof. Of course, this is an EUCS rated game, as both SYC and Woof trying to qualify for EUCF at the end of the year. So this game counts, and every single point in that game counts as well. Talked to one of the German players beforehand saying, these Woof ladies, they don't ever stop. They know, like they know it's windy, and they can really work with that. They just, whatever happens, whatever throw might not work out in the beginning, they still run under every single disc, and I think we saw that here already, and I'm gonna look forward to seeing that during the rest of that game.
Well, with this being an EUCS ranking matchup, we can actually have a look at what the almighty algorithm is going to predict in terms of the matchup, but we'll reveal what that is a little bit later. Put in the live chat, though, what you think the eventual scoreline might be in this game, as that one will be fielded by Iona Livarski-Bond. Recently became double-barreled. Congratulations to her. So a zone from the local Frisbee's variant. Of course, Frisbee is the name of the club, the open team here in Bruges, the hosts of Tom's Tourney. And Woof, not Woof, as they were very intent on us knowing earlier, coming out with the zone. Kirsten Wells and Emma Pickens joining this handler set. That one all the way across to Holly Blackburn. Just moving it patiently, lateral swinging, but I'm liking the positioning of the handlers, giving themselves every opportunity to gain yards with almost every pass, and there is the scoring possession. And a clean hold for the Londoners. I think not.
You talked about the handler positioning, but I think the whole team positioned themselves really well, seeing that if they want to slash through, they want to slash through the middle, and they just did very well. And that inside shot followed by another inside put into the end zone. So nice. That zone, very textbook, like you would put it on paper or describe it for someone, the arrowhead, but those inside shots are going through the middle in the second row. It's probably where you could hit and where defensive players have to adapt to prevent these throws from going off. And I think that Woof can probably still work on their positioning in the zone on defense, but they'll get plenty of opportunities to do so.
So one zone against another. And both teams making decent work of just noshing up the yards. A little bit of a knee required though, and just a bobbled catch. So an opportunity here for SYC. Vaskibon pops back to Hannah Scott, formerly of Reading Ultimate fame. Now coming across and playing in the women's division with SYC. Garnier, that one a little bit too much. Wells underneath. Oh no, that looks like, actually that's not Wells, that's Jenny Fielder. But a run through block.
Not really attacking the disc this time around. And a nice pushing that disc done by Spanton. And a round shot to Rupa for the score. And SYC take the break.
Yeah, just watching the replay. A little bit flat-footed from Woof. They are running set lines this tournament, although the lines change every game. They're reset by their coaches. To get another look at that, Rupal Galani layout score, doing what she does best, one of the B-sponsored athletes.
Yes. Yeah, I do like these early season tournaments where you can still adapt and adjust your lines, so because you have this idea of a player, right, and they do a certain thing at practice, but then in a tournament situation or against specific teams or in specific conditions, these things change, and the focus sometimes changes.
So SYC with 2 on the board, Woof just the 1. As we get back up to speed. Inside dish and then swing across. That's a really lovely put, but it's going to be a bit too far.
Such a good layout over her shoulder as well. Another player around that disc somewhere, but maybe step back because she wasn't the intended target.
Well, Marie-Flaus has a really great bid. It's going to be Caitlin Wilson, one of the long-term captains of this SYC side. Bringing us back into play. That one's going to be overshot though, and a swiping D. They're trying to clear the house of flies. A short field for the Belgians. Up line, just miss again. You can't question the bids coming out of Woof. Great attempt to bring that one back in bounds, but Spanton unable to collect. One of the newer faces this season. So Jana Vries now taking us back into play. Nice lateral movement again. Slightly bigger throws than is necessary, but they're coming down with a pick. And loose Kopions with the disc in hand. Things looking a little bit static downfield. Woof making the handlers really drive the offense. But it is last game of the day for these two teams. And it has been quite the battle against not only their opponents, but also the elements.
Indeed, they're really working it well within the handlers, getting those up the lines again and again.
Oh, to the front cone, and this time the layout will work. And a nice bit of grit on the shirt just to show for it. And that will hopefully put a little bit of wind underneath the wings of this Woof side.
Yeah, they're evening out the score 2-2. And you've seen these passes not work out in the far end zone, but this time the angle of attack of the player is a different one, coming from behind, so next to the thrower, and the flick actually arcing the same direction, but the direction of running is different, so a layout is so much easier than having to look around your shoulders and shoulder and over it to get to the disc.
So 2 apiece here in this women's group stage game, Tom's Tourney 2024. Of course, this game selected for the home crowd fans.
Are there any predictions for scoreline yet?
Not in the live chat yet, no. But maybe in time we'll reveal what the almighty algorithm has to say. But for now, Sham centralises. Scott working with Fielder. And now that's going to just squirrel over. And I tell you what, that had 3 opportunities to be caught. Unfortunately, none of the 6 players able to snaffle that one up for a goal.
It did look like the receiver was in perfect position to get it, but not quite.
Big launch into the deep space. Nice body control, boxing out and going for the secondary. That's a beautiful backhand, and as the sun emerges from the clouds again, Woof go and celebrate that break of score. 3-2, they now take the lead.
And that was an easy one as well. Getting a bigger gainer and then a second one into space and put perfectly into position where the receiver can run under it. A disc high, and probably not intended that way, but such good body position by the slightly taller player. And then just puts it out into space. No mark there yet, not to prevent anything. Nora Adams. Can see the fans celebrating on the sideline. Such a nice weather to watch some Frisbee.
Oh, I mean, we've got the scent of barbecue behind us, drifting here onto the showcase field. Local fans coming out to watch a local team. Of course, one of the beautiful things about hosting a tournament is that extra bit of visibility, letting the people in your locality know about this brilliant sport. And of course, all of our fans watching live online. That one's going to be a little bit too much for Hannah Scott. Great pick off by the defence. Nearly stumbling away with that one. But Knowles keeping hold. Doesn't like the look of the deep options. Going to go for a big reset around break backhand. Not sure who that one was exactly for, but it falls short.
It did look like the defense got a piece of that, maybe.
Just met the intended receiver. It's going to be Wilson getting us back underway. Big pressure, but well held. Now Sharp. Power position. That one might be a bit too low. It is. Great idea. Had separation downfield for the intended receiver.
With these windy conditions, you really have to find the right height to release the disc as well. It's not only about the spin of the disc, but also not to release it too low. You can see here that one just released a bit too early, maybe. Didn't have a chance to curve back in.
So Woof get another opportunity for a break. Pop that one all the way around. What a little snatch at the end of that one. Takes the harder inside shot to move that disc laterally rather than the easier around.
I find that a lot of women's teams like the around, or would like the inside more than the around, and would opt for that always.
It's interesting though, because it is a harder throw to get out for sure. But I suppose it's the you can psych out your defender. They think, oh, I really need to protect the backhand throw. We need to kind of position for that. Does leave a window of opportunity if you have the core control. Deep shot. Lots of bodies under it, but no one can connect.
Sideline saying there's a lot of movement in the stack, maybe clean that up a little bit, but that didn't work out this time. Not yet, anyway.
All right, so we've pulled up the algorithm, but we will we'll wait till this one to conclude as Wells releases a lovely low backhand into this rising and falling breeze. Now Sham to Scott. A believable wind-up for a backhand fake, but didn't follow it through Wilson now. Fakes and then throws the same shot. Good continuation flow. Oh, that one, and that's why it's a harder channel to throw that inside shot. Not sure that Wilson was particularly looking for that disc. But not really any action now coming out of this Woof offense.
I love that high release flick.
We do. Oh, that is a beautiful shot, but it's going to be a little bit too far. Great cover from the defense. And just shepherding the disc away. All right, we've got a bit of a break. Christina, what's your expected score in this game?
I honestly couldn't tell because I don't know these teams well enough.
Have a go. Go on.
Maybe +2 for SYC.
+2 for SYC. Well, it's expected to be a 13-15 game in favour of Woof, according to the almighty EUF ranking algorithm.
Well, I had the number right, at least.
You did, you did. So the algorithm would favour the home side, so maybe they can indeed see that to be true. But at the moment, just under 20 minutes expired, and we're still quite close to it. And that's a lovely defensive block. I think that might have been Desmed. A little bit of poach off exploited. And there goes the backhand break into the bread basket. They have to have the knee slide to make it work, but that will do well enough. Woof put another on the board.
There you go with the 2-point lead for Woof. If they just trade from here on out, the algorithm is correct. But we don't know about that really.
Well, there's not a huge amount of data that's gone into the algorithm
That's
so
what
far.
I was just going to say. Especially because SYC probably played the spring invite in London, and Woof did not. And Woof also didn't match up with any team that matched up with the team from the London spring invite, where Woof probably played in Grenoble, I would imagine. So this tournament here, people from both these spring invites mix, and this will be the first kind of showing that will help determine what invite was worth more, so to say.
It's a really interesting way to do the qualification format, to have this kind of spread of events. It also allows a little bit of creativity, as we see a very good floof on the far side of the pitch. Maybe we'll get a little shot of that. But yeah, the variability that kind of allows you to have these different events, and you can elect for it to be a qualification event meaningful to your season or not, as the case may be, because not all the teams here that are attending as EUCS competitors are actually using this event towards that goal. But it is the case for SYC, as that one just escapes. Hannah John, a difficult target to overthrow, but still, she's only human. That's a high release backhand, though. It squirrels to the far side of the pitch and doesn't quite make the mark. So Woof all smiles on the sideline. Great energy. Enjoying their home fan base's support. Sham to pick up. Lynch, low for Garnier. Now through to Congreve. Six starting to find this flow a little bit more. Lynch not the intended receiver. Looked off a little. John now. Back to Lynch. One of two ultimate playing Lynch siblings in the women's division. That one a little bit high, but well kept by Sham. Exploiting the lack of attention and focus on John. Low pivot, and there is the goal. SYC punch another one in on the board after conceding those 3 on the bounce from Woof.
That was good work from SYC, really not stressing about it, but taking the open options. Although I'm kind of missing some sort of flow in their offense. They're always standing for 1 or 2 seconds holding it just before a continuation goes, or the connection between handling and the stack players, so the players deeper in the field, doesn't work for them quite yet. And I don't know how to fix it. I'm just pointing out that this could be fixed potentially if you're a coach of that team.
I think part of it, though, is just the stage of the season that we're at the moment. It's really still very early doors. You know, this is the second event for SYC. Of course, as many people are really happy about the new qualification style. Other people not so happy. You have to go to more tournaments. There might be a little bit more travel involved in your season than otherwise would be. Love that glamour shot of Caitlin Wilson readying for the pull. Plenty of sideline support.
That's a great pull into the wind.
Absolutely. Well, Wilson's been pulling for a very long time. Played through the juniors division way back when. That one is a big overshot, though. Still going to gain some decent yardage. So we see SYC try and figure out the personnel that will be bringing that one back in play. It's going to be alone at Lavarsky Bond, formerly of Sublime Ultimate, University of Portsmouth. That's where she started her playing career. That one, though, is a non-starter for SYC. And a short field opportunity for Woof. A little bit too clustered on that far sideline, not making their job easy, but just an upline cut will do it, and that's a 5th on the board. Not the clean hold that Woof would have liked, but they've managed to grind it out in the end.
And an easy one, actually, because I know they lost the disc once, but they only had a 1-throw turnover, got it back immediately in a better field position, to be fair, and then just had to put it into the end zone with a few passes. Nerds with the score there, and it's actually the players have to use their hands to shield from the sun. Don't think that would have been possible this morning in my hand. I'm really happy about that now.
I'm a big advocate of playing Ultimate in a cap myself. Not because necessarily it looks good. For me, the cap is a fine look, but the reason I really like it, Christina, is that not only does it keep the sun out your eyes, but it also keeps the wind and the rain out of your eyes.
Fair. You know what I like to wear in these situations?
I don't know, a coat?
No. My speed goggles.
Oh yes, you're a speed goggle person. Yes. It's the nouveau look. Very chic, très chic.
Oui, merci beaucoup.
De rien. But that is a beautiful run-through block from Vicky Cockle. Oh, I tell you what, it wasn't a block for Vicky Cockle. Vicky Cockle got blocked, and that's going to be an upline cut. You could see the little moment of hesitation, but no opportunity for, I think that's looks looks like Han Booth trying to think about the turnaround, but does the right thing by bailing out of it. Sorry, I just couldn't find her in my roster for a minute. But yeah, does the right thing. I think it would have been dangerous to really try and actually come and make a play on the inside of that. Would have had to go to the right shoulder and kind of trail around and corkscrew. But a timeout being taken by SYC to try and gain their composure. So they trail in this game 6-3 to Woof.
We are a group of ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge. We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch.
We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Like and subscribe, ULTI.TV, the best in the world.
Become a member and
fund
fund
our
our
work
work.
to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories and live coverage to the eyes of the ultimate world and beyond.
Welcome back. Women's division action here. Day 1 of 3 of Tom's Tourney. Such a pleasurable event to be at. The sun is now shining, the doggos are here, and the beer is a-flowing. Jesot, Bruksot, the local beer. And Sportsot for the 0% versions.
And the floof is on the screen.
Yes, yes, yes. Floof, floof, floof. We love the floof. Floofs of all kind, though. Doggos, cats. We don't see as many cats on our live stream as we do doggos, though.
No adventure cats in Frisbee yet.
Nice catch from Kirsten Wells, I think, on the sideline. Always in her 2XU skins. In fact, lots of 2XU wearers in terms of branding. We're not sponsored by any Ultimate Apparel compression gear distributors. But we are sporting some very nice Force gear today. So, another zone look from Woof. Trying to put more pressure on SYC. Currently trailing by 3 breaks to 1. Hence the scoreline differential, because SYC did start this game on offense, had that early doors turnover. Sham looking for Wilson. Nice find for Livarski Bond.
Again, that arrowhead zone very much in the structure of where it should be, not adapted to the players yet. 100% is what I feel.
Well, the wind has died down significantly comparative to earlier stages, so there are some opportunities to take some shots, especially if you can move it quickly backwards and put a little bit more pace on these discs. But Wilson choosing the space in between. Oh, great effort there from Galani, but solid defensive work just to close the door on her. Michelle Walters just holding her ground.
Yeah, that disc wasn't put in the right spot for Galani.
So turnover and a full field stretch for Woof this time.
They've done it before.
Oh, they have. That's a beautiful find. Thinks about it. But Peter Despiel puts around this. This Woof side has quite a lot of young talent. In fact, a couple of sisters as well. But 2 under-17s players. That's a big ripper of a backhand. It's got just enough pace on it to keep it away from the defender, and beautifully taken at the very last moment. Louis Kopjans getting another goal to her tally.
Such a good throw. That just was perfectly put there and sat there for ages. Dropped down, and no defender close enough for SYC there to get a chance even. And that's 7-3, and they're within 1 of closing out that half. Look at that. It just like dies down just in front of the end zone there. The back of the end zone, actually.
Well, it works out for Woof. We have the half-time jingle will now play. So half of the game has expired, but it will be played as the points capped at 8 regardless, because that is the normal place you take half-time in a game to 15, which of course these are, although shortened time slots. Just 60 minutes of play here at Tom's Tourney. So how you start a game is all too important.
Yeah, we've definitely got the edge there. Although SYC was up before, up in the early stages of the game.
They did. They took those 2 points to respond to getting broken to start the game, to try and put this game swung back in their favour. But of course, we'll have Woof coming out on offence to start the second half. But they have to punch in another on the board to get there. So I think the brick mark has disappeared into the dirt, just by virtue of these soggy conditions really squelching it up. Wells under hot pressure, ends up making a miscue on the throw, trying to connect with Bowlby. Another of the younger players to this SYC roster. Nice one for Frisbee, who's sporting some very retro length of 5 ultimate shorts.
The Belgian way.
Yeah, Kopjans. Goes back to Nurs. Was thinking about that big backhand release, shoots the cheeky inside instead. This could be some really good moments. Oh, there you go, a casual toss, but unfortunately a little bit too low. Does put the hand on the disc, but doesn't make the catch.
Yeah, could have gone safety layout there and gotten the disc for sure, but SYC gets it instead. It's a nice position for Woof to maybe close out the half.
Well, we'll see. North picking up. Oh, that's going to easy goal. There must have been a miscommunication on the defense, perhaps a switch gone wrong, some bracketing gone astray, and that will take the half for Woof, 8-3. SYC sitting behind Woof here. The hometown advantage seems to be evident. The almighty algorithm called it at 15-13. Well, technically 13.25 if we're being exact. But 13 points for SYC and 15 for Woof if it was played out purely on paper. And at the moment, Woof really showing some mettle here. But of course, they have the advantage of sleeping in their own beds last night, which always makes that extra little bit of something special. But the half, so Woof coming out on offense, that bonus. That one goes a little bit high, but well kept by Dispute. Now throwing on the run from Van der Velde. Feisty backhand, but enough float on it to make the run down recovery. Nice work from Lotte Descamp. Dispute, the lefty backhand. Always nice to have right and left-handed players in windy conditions. Dispute now launching it through that central pocket. Plenty of jailbreak opportunities, but hesitation means they're going to have to be conservative again. Oh, I tell you what, that's not conservative at all, but that is a beautiful backhand roll curve. Lashed to the end zone, and a point on the boards to start the second half. Sien Kyopians with the goal.
That was just after SYC had transitioned to matchup defense. And usually in these situations is where you could get a block easier because everyone's still trying to find the right space to be in, and not everyone's on the same page sometimes, but very well done from Woof to find their spot and find the right place to be at for that score.
So delight there for Woof. And it's nice to have the sun out. The changing wind conditions is at points really blowing the scent of barbecue. And I think maybe some of the SYC players are getting distracted by the sounds of their tummies grumbling, perhaps. It is nearly dinner time.
Well, that could be easily fixed with just eating more during the day.
Oh no, I know. I'm just trying to find external reasons, because this is not normally the level of unforced errors that we see out of SYC. They are generally pretty great. But that one just, again, bouncing out of the palms. I think Bolby can't quite be recovered. So Woof on the charge, looking to take themselves into double digits with a break here. Shooting against the breeze. Van der Velde, ambitious put towards that sort of far side.
And you said it before, it's not only, it's not like SYC to not connect in these passes. Ooh, is someone watching ULTI.TV there on the stream? What?
Watching stuff back over and over. I mean, that's the beauty of this live stream coverage, is you can watch it for forever. That's a beautiful put from Caitlin Wilson. A stumble, though, underneath it means it's going to go to the dirt. Catherine Flavel trying to get there. Clear frustration with herself. And a big taped up left hand. So we just get ourselves a wider view of this Woof offense, sorry. Getting a little bit lost for options just to get that release of air and gasp of oxygen, but smothering person coverage from SYC is going to give them a short field opportunity as Wilson swaggers towards the disc. It's a real iconic stride. Pickens, formerly of Exeter University. Going to send that one again. Both teams having some struggles in the early stages of the second half.
Especially with resets, and when nothing else works in a game, your resets have to be spot on. That's everyone's gonna be in a position on the sideline to have to reset into the middle and to break a mark, and you can reset it back at all, but like just meeting the ground, just not ideal at all.
It's not surprising to see those early stages of a second half. A lot of players will have the same matchups as we see that one called back on a strip. Pickens immediately accepts. But yeah, teams sort of starting to get the measure of one another. Those same matchups repeatedly across the course of the game. But that one snaffled up by Flavel. And Wilson with a beautiful backhand. That's just a little bit too low, but a nice option. Plenty of room for fielder to field that one.
Yeah, that's a bit downwind, and it's sometimes really tricky to take the right amount of zip on it, but also just put it on top of the wind to let it float over.
That one again overshooting the top, but this time Van der Velde makes up the ground required. Oh, that is quite the release. You could see the attempt there, what Dascan was trying to achieve.
See players jumping through, and the second attempt works out, but they're trapped on the far side now. Or SYC. An isolated player in the middle.
Yeah, well, they've been trying to hit fielder for quite some time. Wilson to fielder seems to be a favoured choice, not surprising. That one's going to be too big, though, and snaffled up by Naomi Knowles. One of the antidotes, of course, to your handler set being shut down is to kind of flex things through, rotate your entire personnel, because a lot of these players can do both, but that is a lovely bit of work. I think that's Van der Velde coming up from the dirt, having thrown herself onto the ground just to make sure the catch was secured. But Axel Van der Velde, nice work.
Van der Velde really just taking a nap on the pitch, but so nice getting the second time we see her getting a second effort, because she don't know if she even was aware of the disc being so close to her and to get that score there. But great work, and you can really see how the grind that Woof were putting into this game works out in favor for them.
Yeah, they really are putting in the effort, and it's showing up in the scoreboard. Of course, now we're in double digits for Woof. 10-3 over SYC, the Londonites. And we've got some love in our live chat. Some support for SYC from Herman Kaiser. And then Joran Oritz, of course, one of our favourite ultimate dads. Plays himself. Had the pleasure of covering his team Blue Zone in Sardinia. We do all sorts of Frisbee here on ULTI.TV, including World Greek Grandmasters Beach Ultimate Club Championships. And Sands hates cables, so, you know, feel free to become a patron and support our work. Sham left on an island, no defender, but also not really many targets upfield. But Garnier now laces it through. Lynch pops back. Lynch, I believe, formerly of Spice. That might be her sister. Now Booth. This is much better flow, linking the passes together. Sham's there. But a lot of these players quite happy to look upfield for quite some time. Scott trying to sneak away from her defender with the stop move. Now Lynch. But it resets back to Garnier in pretty much the same spot. Oh, huge layout attempt to snaffle the disc away from Booth. But she remains firm, and that's going to work out. Vicky Cockle for another goal on the board as SYC. And 10-4.
They've seemed to found their flow and rhythm a little bit, or maybe it's just that line from SYC, or these particular players who've been on SYC a little bit longer, that really do well at swinging the disc and moving it up the field, and the continuation into the end zone also just perfectly timed there. And what a nice catch under a lot of pressure. So Sham puts it into the end zone for Cockle.
Yeah, lovely continuation flow as well there. I think that's probably the difference maker for me in terms of when SYC is looking really good. It is that timing and that chemistry together. And you can see it in some of their connections, but perhaps some of the more well-honed matches and matchups of the individuals on this team, I should say. Maybe it's that idea of, you know, we are the last game on Friday. It's a 3-day tournament, so it's not the heaviest duty in terms of your workload of the number of games you'd have to play compared to a weekend tournament where it gets real grindy quite quickly. But maybe some of those connections, there is a little bit of tiredness, dare we say, the T word. But matchup for matchup, these two rosters are pretty much identical for numbers. As a beautiful pole goes really deep. And can SYC apply the pressure? Or will Woof escape? They've got a big old cushion to sit on, those 6-point lead.
SYC are coming out in the zone with a 4-person cup. They managed to stop their movement, but there's also not a lot of pressure on the handlers to move the disc along. And just as I say, of course, they get big gainers.
Fortunate that one was touched by the intended receiver, so it could be recaught by the spiel. Putting lots of float on these discs. SYC are trying their best to get there, but not quite. Van der Velde now. Nuz moves it forward. Just taking the disc for a walk a little bit now.
Sounds like they're transitioning to matchup defense.
Oh, it's a big lead pass and it's a layout bid. I think there might be a discussion about a strip call. There was contact from the back from Garnier, and that one was in the hands.
Is she not? She just have it in her hands still, but I'm.
Oh no! It sort of flobbled out. So so she caught it in between her hands, I think. So we'll watch the replay back. We have the replay. Why not?
Oh, look at that throw and go, Garnier on her heels though.
So yeah, you just miss it because we get blocked by the other players on the pitch. But I think Walters there, she did get the disc and then is sort of boshed out. So it's going to be called a goal, an accepted strip, presumably.
I would think so, but of course we couldn't see it. Definitely, I just saw the disc in her hands and assumed it was a very heroic play.
So 11-4, they extend the lead. Woof with a hold. Wasn't the cleanest in the end, but a great run down by de Walters. Sorry, Michelle Walters. And of course, we've got one more game left in the juice tank. We've had all sorts of fun results throughout the course of this tournament in all 3 divisions.
Indeed.
2 open divisions with 24 teams. Open Division 1 and 2, and of course this women's division. Plenty of national teams for your viewing delectation. And things will start to heat up from tomorrow. Women's division will go to power pools. There's a powerful huck comes out of the arm of Caitlin Wilson. This time just shy of the goal. Bowlby needs some kind of action, tries to just go for the throw and go. Oh, the cheeky push pass fake.
I would love to see that push pass go off.
Oh, we absolutely would, but it's going to be a flick. Sham asking the sideline for verification, but the balletic toe work is going to pay off. Ian Sham posts a 5th point on the board.
And I love that the person applauding first was actually the defender. So the opponent agreeing that that play was just such good reaction after the deflection, going for the second effort and keeping her body inside the end zone and the field, of course.
Ian Sham now going to take a well-deserved rest after that huge play. Another of the former Exeter University athletes on this SYC program. She's been with them for quite some time. It's sort of her first club team she really started playing with back in the UK. A little tilt from Johnny, who's been engaging in some CrossFit in her non-Frisbee spare time.
All right.
Alongside Garnier, I think, and Wilson. Get involved with some high roxing, if that's your kind of thing.
Sure, if you want to do that. Sounds horrible to me, but then.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, some people like competitive working out. It's not for everyone. But Woof trying to run away with this one. Walters even. There's no D in that one. And a middle force, I think, based on the shouting from the sideline of SYC. That one high, but nice grab from Delanot. Fires the inside. Kopians to Despiel. Again, those lefty backhands from Despiel really making a big difference. Beautiful inside lateral flow. There goes the disc. And the nice one-handed snatch at about knee height for Woof, and that will be 12 on the board, 12-5 even in this game now, as we see just shy of 10 minutes of regulation time remaining. We might get to the 15 points cap, so Christina.
We might. It looks like that. The wind has died down just the tiniest bit to make this game not about the wind anymore, but rather about skill. Really, and you could see a lot of skill on that Woof side. They're really attacking the disc, and then also like keeping their eyes on it, even if they're not the intended target, and that helps them a lot.
You do have to be heads up when it's windy. That is for sure. So Woof with it all to just finish this one out. But we could see a SYC comeback. They are starting to put together some more solid and stable offense. We'll see how it works out as the next point has now started. Scott to Sham. That one a little bit low. Just about does the action roll.
It was a slow motion action roll, but I'm here for it.
It is the last game on Friday. Sham, nice find up the line, but it just goes through a nutmeg.
Yeah, I could have attacked that disc a little bit more instead of waiting for it. And I get that you want to gain as many meters as you can, but still.
Well, it's a difference maker because actually at the beginning of the game, Woof were not attacking the disc as that one goes a little bit too far, bit too much zest on that forehand, rolls into the turf. But yeah, early doors it was Woof who were not attacking the disc. It was Woof who were sort of on the back heels, getting blocked, getting run through, and now it's them really starting to attack things. And see there, that defensive effort, that pressure that they're trying to consistently put on SYC. That one going for the second effort for Lynch, but just ends up in the dust. Well, I say dust, it's too wet for any dust here on these pitches, but the dirt. Bouncing around on these sodden fields. Lovely connections, just lacing it through to the end zone, and that's 13-5 now for Woof. And a second break in the second half for the Belgian side.
Within 2 of closing out their game, Woof, and this is really not going the way I thought it would, but neither to the algorithm. But I mean, Woof is showing up today, just doing all the things right. Especially probably after that, they got that first break by SYC. They turned their game around a little bit and pulled away in a way that is so hard to stop. Because once a team is running away, what can you do?
Well, you just got to grind. That's the thing. You just got to put the mentality on of it's 0-0, game to 1, every single point, and just try and go out and execute your best effort. So Wilson, with just over half the field to go, going to get us underway. Violation call. Sounds like, looks like a double marking infraction with no drop of the stall count. So it's going to start on 0. As the sun starts to emerge once again from behind the clouds. Some blue sky.
Wow.
I wouldn't have believed it existed this morning.
No, I didn't. It's just clouds.
Wilson with the high release backhand just flobbles out of the hands of Jenny Fielder.
And you can see these things happen a lot after stoppages, where the control isn't quite there yet again.
Oh, how on earth did Los Copians pull that one down from heaven? Janne Vries. Again, I think one of the other attributes is just how good this Woof side are right now. They're really just dominating in the air.
Agreed. They're taking the disc at the highest point they could manage to catch it.
And what you don't see as much is the SYC athletes really getting up in the business alongside.
Shouldn't think one could put that on height? Does look like a bit of a height mismatch in general.
There are some. There are definitely some, but that one is certainly a bit of a skyball. Miscommunication between the Woof players is going to stop them from completing that. It's like in tennis when you're playing doubles, you've got to communicate as to who's going to take the shot. In this case, who's going to catch the goal, but Livarsky Bond getting stuff underway. Wilson off towards the deep space, but they throw into traffic. Not that many times you get to see Caitlin Wilson streak towards the end zone, but she's got the wheels.
She was all alone. There was no defensive matchup on her.
Yeah, they tried to throw to the underneath. I think it was Wells, but Bernard says no. That one's going to be spicy indeed, but again, just that extra little bit of height. Using the advantage. Oh my goodness, things are getting a little bit crazy here for Woof. But they do bring it down. I think that might be another goal for Lewis Kopjans, just by virtue of how dirty that shirt is. Yep, that is Lewis Kopjans. I couldn't see the number, I just saw the patch of mud.
I actually believed it was a SYC player because of the dark sleeves, but it's just a shirt he wears underneath it.
Well,
And they are within 1 now of closing out that game, just as the 5-minute jingle approaches, or is actually done already again. But yeah, Woof just slashing through this game here, doing all the little things right.
and the big things. I think that's to be fair, it is the big things, because they're just absolutely just shoveling the disc
Agreed.
into the deep space on that last point. Just looking to close this one out so they can get themselves over to the barbecue. We've got our food tokens. They can enjoy some sots. Although, to be fair, this is the local team, so they can enjoy Brugge sots whenever they like.
Something special for them, not as much as it is for us.
Well, it's always special at Tom's Tourney, though. Always special, but
True.
that's a really nice bit of pole fielding. Sham and Lynch just taking advantage of the slow-moving zone. That one punctures through to Lynch. Sham, plenty of space. I'm loving Connie Lynch's ideas of putting her hands up, saying, you can throw over that cup, but they're going to throw over to the knee-sliding cockle. Spicy little find to Galani. Cockle looking to put another on the board. She has been receiving a solid half of the goals. That's a really lovely grab for Hannah Scott. Punches that one through on the inside break. Booth pops back to Scott. That one's very low. A Cockle puts the hands around it, but hits the ground first.
Just that sliding grab and not going face first always, or sometimes just does that to you. Of course, it's so much harder to like jump to the ground face first, but that's the reason why.
Yeah, she didn't quite have the room to explode for a full layout bid. But a pick. It's going to bring us back in play. Van der Velde. High release. That one a little bit too much to be collected by Walters. Goes for the foot block. Comes up empty. Johnny. Through to Booth. Oh, there it is. Beautiful break side flow. See that continuation. We don't see it that often in this game for SYC, but when it's there, it's beautiful.
Do you know what the difference in this sequence was as well? We're missing a defensive player from Woof. And the fact that they have the feeling they're open just makes them run a little bit harder or better, which is really interesting, but probably not ideal, because you can't be influenced by defensive pressure at all, ideally, right? So if it happens a little bit, okay, but still, even if you're open, even if you're not open, just cut with intention and like do it 100% and make the defense think that you're doing this, and then run the other way, for example.
Well, this is a slightly better performance in the first and the second half so far, but of course, with this being an EUCS matter accounting game, ranking game, we'll go ranking game, that's the easier way to describe it. It's every point counts, so it would be really easy to say it's sunny, we can hear the party started, you can hear the DJ, smell the barbecue, you know, what, we could just roll over and let them concede the goal, let them finish, but no, it's all about putting as many points on the board as you can, trying to get those bids to EUCF later on in the season. So making these in-season games that little bit more meaningful, but an out-of-bounds pull is going to give good field position to start off and a side stack coming out of Woof.
Interesting. I wonder what they're cooking up here. They haven't started on offense that much, to be fair.
Indeed. Well, it'll be interesting to see how SYC can surround it. Kristen Wells trying to marshal that defense to start off with, just sitting in that lane, trying to be intentional and intelligent, and it pays a couple of dividends. Blackburn walking towards the disc, but it's going to be Pickens to get us started. And the final time jingle is going to go as Pickens lashes it first pass into the deep space, but it's going to be a foul call, which is accepted. Not sure quite in the end zone. So Spanton is going to play from the goal line. Has a little think about it, flirts with that backhand dish for a goal, puts it back to Pickens instead. Sick, needing to find a little bit of magic. Pickens launches it into the bread box of, I think that's Bowlby. Yeah, it is.
And there's the magic.
And their second break of the game, just their fourth goal in the second half.
Do you know what I want to criticize a little bit?
Sure, go ahead.
That's only their second break, as you just mentioned, and everyone's going there, shoulders down, heads tucked in, and they're not even enjoying this. And I get that having such a deficit of score like that is a struggle sometimes, but also you just got a break. You just got the first break in the second half. Celebrate that. It's so important to motivate yourself and motivate your teammates in those situations, especially because they should know every single freaking point counts.
That's true. I think it's a good compare and contrast, to be fair. So a bit of behavioural psychoanalysis from Christina Obermeyer here in the booth. I like it. Because earlier on in the game, Woof, they got a break and they really celebrated it. And then they got another one. And then that 4-point run to close out the first half. But they need to put in that last punch on the scorecard to take the victory here, as Hannah Scott tries everything in her possibility to try and prevent the handler movement. They're having to take those negative yards, but making up again. Kopjans, big effort from Booth. Getting really intense and up in the space. Van der Velde pops forward for Descam. That might be a bit too spicy, but great attention and response from Despeel. Walters. Now through to Fries. Casual toss. And then finds the hole in those front set of three. Great redemption. Almost off the boot. Just about gets there. That's a really nice idea. Hot pressure on it, but the height mismatch. Rupal Galani can't do anything about that one, and it will indeed be game to the 15-7. Axel van der Velde, who's been putting up some beautiful shots, reeling one in at long last and closing off this game.
That last possession really represented the game very well. A bit of luck on the Woof side, but also a lot of skill within the mix, and that is a well-deserved win for them, 15-7.
Yeah, in terms of the perfect conversions as well, 77% for the D-line of Woof. They were really, really ruthless. In fact, their offensive conversions weren't even that good. Of their 8 attempts, only 5 of them were perfect when they came out on offense. But of course, the conversion rate, a lot of opportunities taken by Woof. When SYC turned the disc over, they struggled to get it back a little bit. But we will close off the live stream for this particular match. Do not go anywhere, folks. We have one more game of the first day of Tom's Tourney for your delectation and delight. That will be over in the open division. We'll be getting a bit of Ranelagh versus Frisbee. So another hometown hero set under the sun here in Bruges. But thank you for joining us. For myself, Hannah Pendlebury, and for Christina Obermeyer, it's been real.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
Merci beaucoup.
Yeah, Ultimate.
ULTI.TV.